Well, hello everyone, TheOntarioGardener here, back with the official PlateUp Halloween update video. So today we're going to be going through all the new things that's coming out with the new Halloween update. So let's jump right into it. As you see, we have a brand new, or returning in a sense, theme from last year's Halloween with the spooky trees and the fencing and all that cool stuff. We also have, as you can see on the screen, cakes are now a choosable item in your menu. No longer is it for daily and weeklies only, it is included. Now let's jump right into all the new appliances, or I should say upgraded or enchanted appliances. And they all start from the enchanting desk. The enchanting desk drops at the beginning of each run. And basically it works like a research station, copy station, discount station. You place it next to a blueprint cabinet with a blueprint that can be enchanted. You can tell it because it'll have that little purple diamond next to it. And you interact with it just like you do with other desks to enchant a blueprint into something magical. Let's get into which of those things that are magical. First is the cauldron. The cauldron is probably one of my favorite things of this update. Basically, it is a 1x speed safety hob. Upgrades from a regular hob blueprint. Now, if you remember, safety hobs are 0.75 speed. These are basically upgraded safety hobs at 1x speed, and also splashes water instead of a mess, which is great because you can walk through water a lot easier than walking through mess. The next thing, there's actually two table upgrades. This is called a sharing cauldron. So basically it's the cauldron that we just saw. So this is basically a safety hob table. So if you want to automate this in a sense, say for breakfast, you could run a grabber or a conveyor belt right onto that thing with a piece of bread and it'll automatically serve the table. Obviously you could use it for other things as well. But I think doing something like that would be great as well. But the problem is customers take 3 times longer to eat, but they all share the food. So it's a very good thing, but it's also very bad because it takes 3 times as long to eat. The next one is the stone table. Now this one's pretty interesting. This combines with adjacent tables, as it says there, so you can combine them like regular tables, metal tables, etc. But the table consumables are not removed after use. So if you like using table consumables, you plop one on at the beginning of the day and it does not disappear. It just stays there, which is like pretty much permanent for that day's run, which is amazing, I think. The next thing is the enchanted broom. Now this is an upgrade from your regular broom blueprint, and it works similar to like a robo broom or robo mop. It just has a little cute thing that kind of swishes around and it mops your floor for you. Very cute, and it sticks with the theme as well. The next thing are enchanted plates. Now plates upgrade, enchanted plates upgrade from a generic plate blueprint, which drop usually on day 1 or day 2 very easily. And basically the way that works, it works kind of like a modified soaking sink where you basically plop down a dirty plate and it cleans it and it adds it to the stack. But you can only have a maximum of 1 at a time. So it's pretty much like your beginner way of having a soaking sink if you have a few groups. So it has its uses for sure. The next 4, I should say, are ghostly items. Now these ghosts are things that, well, pop up. And they upgrade from the clipboard, this one, and basically you plop one of these guys in front of a desk and it'll research things for you, copy things for you, enchant things for you. Basically, just like it says, Spooky Helper automatically interacts with desks in front of it. Now this one, along with the next 3, work the exact same way. In a sense, the next one is the ghostly knife. So basically it's like a chopper it's similar to a mixer. It'll chop anything in front of you. It's very good. Now you can double these up to have an effect of 2 compared to like a mixer, which is effect of 1. The next one is the ghostly rolling pin. Same way as the knife, basically doing it for your kneading actions as well. And the next one is the ghostly scrubber, which I think this one is probably going to be the favorite amongst everybody because this will clean dishes. It cleans from a starter sink, basic sink, power sink, and basin, which is amazing to also help clean. And here's a little bit of a GIF screenshot here of what they do. You see the top left, the knives can be doubled up with a workstation to go super fast. Down at the bottom, that magic mountain there, we're going to get to that in a second, what that does. You can see double rolling pins. The bottom right, they're double cleaning, super fast to clean dishes. I think the scrubber is probably my favorite part, except look at the ghostly clipboards at the top, and they work for all desks. I don't have an enchanting desk stuck there, but this is just showing you how it can upgrade the things as well, which I think is very awesome. It's basically auto research, kind of how the portioners work when they were first introduced, that little bug way back in the day. I remember those days. But anyway, ghostly clipboard, I think, along with the scrubber, are going to be people's number 1 and number 2 choices, and then of course the chopper and the rolling pin as well. Moving right along, we have next the illusion wall, and this one's going to be a favorite for people, especially if you're serving. You're not playing a diner style method. If you're playing solo as well, you place it against the wall to walk through, staff only. Now, this does not work through a pass-through wall. It goes through your standard, like your regular full height walls. It basically is adding a doorway wherever you want it along a wall, and that upgrades from a counter as well. So this is really good. It's funny it says staff only. It's just a little kind of cute thing there. It's very cool, by the way. The next thing is the instant wand. Now the instant wand is awesome. It does have a cooldown, of course, but basically you pick it up. It's a held item, and whatever you touch, whether it be a food item, a dishes cleaning, a research cleaning, anything that you want, it automatically completes whatever the action would be in front of it. Very powerful, but with that cooldown, you can't spam it all the time, of course. Granted, if you have 2, 3, 4 people holding one of these, you can move through the day very easily. The next is a levitation line. Now, this is an upgradable from the conveyor belts. And what it basically is a conveyor belt that you can walk through. So if you have some automation set up, but you still have to reach, like, say, the flour in the back just to get a dough ball for your bread or something, place one of these down in place of another conveyor, in case of a grabber, well, if it's in a chain line like that, and you can walk right through that. And also customers can walk through that, which is also pretty amazing. The next one is another levitation thing, a levitation station. And this one's pretty cool. This has a 2-tile radius all the way around it. So it's basically a 5x5 grid, not including the center square, and you can place things on it. You can place dirty dishes, you can place meals, you can place pots, you can place anything you want, and it'll just kind of float about in space. Very cool. That also upgrades from a counter as well. The next thing is the magic apple tree. So this works similar to a flower, but if you remember, the flowers are a one-off. You give it to the person, they use it, there you go. The apple regrows. There is a countdown timer. I think it's around 10 to 12 seconds. And it regrows, and you can give that to a customer to satisfy a random customer's order. So it's not everybody, but it's a random person's order. Say you're doing oysters and something else, and you keep getting oysters, or you get a spiny fish. You're like, you know what? I don't want to make spiny fish. Boom. Have a magic apple and leave me alone, right? Leave me alone with my spiny fish. The next thing is also a magic item, which is the magic mirror, which I think this is very awesome as well. This upgrades from a dumbwaiter. This works exactly like a teleporter, except things can go through it, through a wall, or if you're holding it. Now, they don't have to be right across from each other like I show here, but they do have to be placed on a full wall segment, not a half wall or a pass-through wall, if you will, and they don't work on doorways either. You have to place them on walls, but it's a very cool way to use teleporters for sending, say you want to have a wall somewhere. You could have these, or you could use the invisible wall to run a conveyor belt through a wall, something like that. And this works. You can grab, if you have a countertop on the one side and you're standing on the other side, and you can actually use that countertop or any other object as well, because you're reaching through it. Very cool upgrade. But you do need to have 2, just like the dumbwaiters, and just as the teleporters work, you have to have 2, and as you can see here, they'll be numbered, of course. The next thing is the magic spring, and this was in that little GIF clip that I showed you before. This basically provides water to anything nearby. So it'll need dough, it'll fill pots, it won't need dough, it'll turn flour into a dough ball, it'll fill a pot with water, etc. It'll work really well with a couple crazy automations. I can see how this would be really usable in automation. You can get rid of a sink. You don't even need a sink to make bread. Just run this right next to a grabber. Boom, you got your dough ball already made. I think it's pretty cool. Now, it does not watch things. It just provides water, similar to interacting with the sink provides water. It does the same thing, but it does it automatically with a 1-tile radius all the way around it. So it's basically a 3x3 grid, not counting the middle tile. The next thing here is the pouch of holding. Basically, this is an upgrade from the tray station, and it allows you to hold 4 identical items at once. The tray stand holds 2, the pouch holds 4, and this is anything. Anything as like the tray can. It could hold 4 dirty plates. It could hold 4 portions of soup, which is amazing. So if you have a couple of these, you can have portions of soup everywhere and serve the portions of soup or portions of cake or anything really. 4 red fish, 4 blue fish. It could hold 4, well, not really 4 oysters. I wouldn't do it like that, but you know what I mean. You can go off something like that and be very, very cool. But it has to be identical items. It can't be split items. Unlike the tray stand, you can't have split items. It works kind of like a prep station where you can only have the same type of item in it, but it's very, very cool as well and has those nice sparkle effects. The next thing is this preserving station. So basically it's similar to how the pouch of holding works. This upgrades from a prep station. It's almost like a frozen prep station, but you basically can put things in jars and you can set the jars wherever you want. And that's really amazing because you can put whatever you want in the jars, like I just said, and you can place them where you want, and then the next day, boom, they're there. And it's pretty cool because you can have different things in different jars. You don't have to have one thing just like a prep station works. So it's pretty cool how it works. I'll be interested to see how they get up with using these jars. Vanishing circle. So this is something that works similar to like a compactor bin or your jiggle bins as I've come to know them, but you do have to interact with them. But it's any item. So if you place, say you make too many fish, you place a wrong fish on there, boom, you interact it disappears. So there's no emptying, there's no downtime, but the only thing is you have to interact with it, but it's still a very, very cool item. Now we come to the cards. Now, these are the same cards as we've had last year, but for those of you who are new, especially new to my channel, welcome in, and these are the cards. You have Pyro Patrons, you have Cowardly Customers, Full of Friends, Grand Gestures, Spatial Scares, Frightful Fluff. You also have Nasty Nightmares, Risky Reservations, Freak Fires, Spooky Solos. I kind of like that one. That's like individual dining without individual dining. Dark Deliberations. That's kind of a bad card actually. Mysterious Messes, stuff like that. Booking desks are automatic. That's a little bit careful because they'll call all the time right away. That's dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And then the last 6 here is Queue Patience is never reset. That one's a bit rough too. Because if you have a group outside and one person comes or a group comes inside, the patience doesn't get reset, which is tough. Foggy Food is kind of a good one. You have other ones like Vanishing Valuables, Leftover Money is lost at the beginning of each day. That's bad. So basically, spend your money, people, or you're going to be in trouble. Conveyors and Grabbers move slowly. That's a bit rough too. And then obviously players move slower towards the end of the day. Very, very cool cards. Can't wait to see what everybody comes up with them. And that is basically the Halloween update, everybody. So, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any additional questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below, or you can reach out on Discord at TheOntarioGardener on the PlateUp Discord, where I am a moderator. If you enjoyed the video, please consider leaving me a like as well as a comment. It would be much appreciated. And if you're enjoying the new update or the upcoming update, hit that subscribe button, tick the bell notification icon. I have a lot of cool automation videos coming up with this update, as well as a couple Let's Play series with all the new crazy cards and the new items. Can't wait to share it with you guys. And as always, catch you next time.